All right, everybody. So, welcome to another episode of A Sip of Tea, where you get a little sip of the small businesses that you can support this month. I am here with the one and only Erika Monae, and I am so excited to be here with her today. I'm going to let her introduce herself and what she does because one of the amazing things that I have learned about Erika, or from Erika rather, is the art of the elevator pitch. So I'm going to
Art.
let her. So I'm going to let her give her elevator pitch and show you how a pro does
Oh Lord, the pressure. Thanks. No, thank you for having me. I am excited that you brought me on. So for those that do not know me, I am Erika Monae. I'm the founder and CEO of the Erika Monae Group. It is a leadership coaching and HR consulting practice. And that is where essentially I help technical leaders become people leaders by bridging that gap between their hard skill set and their soft skill set so that they can lead in authenticity. My company was truly founded, and our purpose was really birthed from the concept of making the workplace a more healthier and fair place. And I feel like that starts with leadership being more authentic, filled with humility, and taking action on those things.
I love it. I love it. It's awesome. It's how a pro does it. So let's just unpack this just a tiny bit, not a whole lot, because I don't want you to have to delve into too much information. But what do you think causes that unauthenticity in the workplace?
What causes it? I mean, there's a lot of pressure in the workplace. People are trying to impress their bosses, they're trying to build up their credibility, their experiences. So there's just a lot of pressure of being perfect, and not making mistakes is, one of the huge components I think we all face, especially women in the workplace. So all of that combined is just a lot of putting up this face of, okay, I have to be someone in order to impress or in order to, get this promotion. And in fact, your secret sauce is really you and you being you. And so that's,
Absolutely.
if we don't take advantage of the fact that we're different and we have an authentic voice and we have a great value in that, if we don't tap into that and take advantage of that, we are missing out in our workplaces. The organizations will be missing out.
Absolutely. I mean, I literally could not have said it better myself. I think that that is an awesome answer to that question. And I think that it can be really hard sometimes, even as a business owner, to find that balance that needs to be found there, and to show up truly authentic. For me, I think the issue is showing up truly authentic, but still remaining professional. And I
Yeah.
think that a lot of times that's that hard spot for people. Like for me, I know that's a hard spot for me because truly authentic Tiffany was a sailor for 3 years and she cusses like a sailor. But in a professional environment, Tiffany cannot cuss like a sailor. And I think that the word authenticity is also misused a whole lot right now, especially with everything being digital the way that it is. I have
Mhm.
had a lot of people, I've had people accuse me of being unauthentic because I script and record my content before I say it, and I batch record. But it's no less authentic. I wrote the script, but that's how I can get my thoughts together in one place. That's how I can keep myself from rambling. And honestly, batch creation is the best way for me to get it done because
Yeah, that's not a character thing. That's just a part of your preparation.
yeah,
So, if anyone were to say, I mean, I just find it to be false as well, because just because you script something doesn't mean that you're not authentic. It just means this is my way that works for me so that I'm prepared, I'm confident, and I know what I'm doing because again, this is your business. So you want to be able to put on the right face, be professional, so that others can say, "Oh, I understand, and I can get what Tiffany is saying." You don't want to just. I mean, some people can wing it, and some people can't. And if you can't, you have to figure out what works for you so that it works for you. And if that's what works for you, go for it.
I love it. I love it. So who is your target audience? Who do you help, Erica?
So I help level directors, managers, and organizations. So typically those who are in leadership that goes from honestly starting out like first time leaders up into like the director level. I've had a few inquiries for executive level, but my focus is primarily on that mid-level career because that area they tend not to receive the budget, the line item from the organization to receive coaching and development. So I wanted to focus in on that group because honestly, before they get to that C-suite role, I want to help them be able to become a better people leader, so that in that role, they can have that influence over those that they lead as well.
Awesome. So you are a small business, but you partner with larger businesses then.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
awesome,
Yep.
awesome, awesome, awesome. And I also want to ask, like, when you are vetting a client, right? What are you looking for in that client?
Um, I'm looking for a couple of things. One would be, one, what's the need? Because you have to, there needs to be a need for me to be there. And then
Right.
two, I'm looking for connection, alignment. It is important to me that I do business with those where our values are aligned.
Yeah.
And I get most satisfaction out of that. And it's easier to do business in that way when our values are aligned. So I'm looking for that in a client. And so for me, my values would be respect, integrity, grace. And for most people, they're like, oh, I don't really get what the grace concept, but it's really a human thing. I think that if we had a bit more grace in our world, I think we would be a completely different world if we had more of it. So it's, again, and that comes just through a series of conversations. It's not just the initial client consultation or even connecting with the coaching client. What are their personal values? It is very important because oftentimes when I coach people, they don't even realize what their values are. They say, like, I love my family. My kids are important. My spouse is important. Money is important. But it's like, what do you value?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really key question for people to really take a step back and think about, because I love my family too. So I'm like, okay, we have that in common.
Right. We
I
all love
my
our
kids
families.
too, right? Like, and you'll find some people that's just like, I love my kids. I don't know about my spouse. Sometimes people will say that.
You can love someone and not like them. And that is 100% the truth. And it doesn't matter how they're related to you.
So yeah, so those are some things that I look for.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So with that being said, Erika, what is your service this month that you are trying to make people more aware of?
Coaching, having more one-on-one coaching. I think that with 2020 being 2020,
Mm-hmm.
we've had a lot of ups and downs, and we are still in a place of uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
And I know at the beginning of this year, when everything began to shift, there was a halt on coaching, whether it was coaching dollars that came from your organization or actually people taking those dollars and reinvesting into themselves, but being afraid to do so because they don't know what's happening next. They didn't know if they were going to lose their job, if they need to save that money. So now that we are at a different point in this uncertain time, I'm not going to say better, but we are at a different point.
Mm-hmm.
We've just been in it longer. If people have allocated funds, or let's just say they want to invest in themselves, I want to be able to support those people in doing so, especially in their professional career, because that's a journey in itself. Leadership is a journey in itself, and it's not one that is easily navigated when it was in person. So taking it to a virtual setting is very hard to make sure that you're performing, your team's performing, and that creativity is a must right now, just because we're in a virtual world. And how do you do that? It's more challenging right now.
Yep.
So focusing in on creativity and performance for leaders is essential right now. And how do they level up their careers and kind of put themselves out there in a way where they can still be the best that they could be.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So the question that's on everybody's mind, Erika, is how do they get in touch with you? How do they contact you?
They can contact me in quite a few ways. So I am on social media. So my social media handle is Erika Monae Group. So ErikaMonae Group. So that's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and I'm also on Twitter. But my Twitter handle is the EMGRP. So that's a bit different than my other social media handles. But you can also check out my website, which is www.erikamonaegroup.com.
Awesome. And we will make sure to have all of the links above or below, depending on the platform you're viewing this on right now, so that you can reach the wonderful Erika. Do you have any final thoughts for us, Erika?
Yeah, so what I leave everyone with is my slogan, Be You, Be Kind, Shine. And Be You is just being able to show up as your authentic self in this world so that others can see it. And you're giving everyone else permission to be their authentic selves. And also being kind. I spoke a little bit earlier about grace. And it's something that we need more of in this world. So when you combine showing up as your authentic self with humility and kindness, you are shining in this world, shining so bright where you're giving others permission to be exactly who they are with a sense of authenticity as well.
Oh, I love it. Mic drop. There is nothing else to say. You guys, that has been another episode of Sip of Tea. Erika Monae, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You guys make sure that you reach out and connect to her. You will not regret it. I will see you guys next time on our next episode.